Recording in progress.
Good morning, good morning. Are we succeeding with the quorum?
Good morning, Chair. There's currently 4 members on the platform.
Okay. Nokusi, wakuphi abogijini emaswala enzanele?
I'm looking for them quickly, Chair.
Morning, Chair. There's something wrong with your sound. It's too low.
Oh, okay, Honorable Manye. How is it now? Check 1, 2, check 1, 2. Is it better? Honorable Moyo, why not you connect the two gadgets lab?
The other one is pink. The other one is blue. Yay. Kwenzekani mhlekazi?
Okay, Honorable Maswale, Honorable Zanele, Nkomo. Mazed. Is here. Okay. Alan, how many are we now? Bakuphendro Mapeta Street. How many are we, Alan?
There's 6 currently, Chair.
Okay, we are 6. We correct. Let's start in the meantime. Remember, we had to request this day specifically for adopting the report. Sorry for inconveniencing members of this committee because we know today is a constituency work. Let's hope will be done in less than an hour so that members can attend to their constituency work. Let me right away officially open the meeting and welcome members, support team, media, National Treasury present here, stakeholders. I see some stakeholders who are here. Comrade Matthew is here and others. You are all welcome. This is an open meeting. Are there apologies?
No apologies received, Chair.
No apologies received. Let's move to the only one item which is in the agenda, the report on the public procurement bill. Dr. Slope and Alan, can you flight the report? And we'll go direct to where do we start? Because it's a different report. Yeah,
Yeah, through you. Through you, Chair.
Honorable Manya, over to you.
Just checking, Chairman, if I'm struggling though to hear you. I'm on 100% here, but when Alan speaks, I can hear. When Honorable Noxie speaks, I can hear only you. I don't know what's. Am I the only one? Can I just check with other people? Is your sound normal today for everyone else? Maybe it's just me.
Sound is clear on my side.
Let me test it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Check 1 2, check 1 2. Mama Vilasa, can you proper hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Chair. Well. Okay.
Honorable Manya,
Can hear you too, but the sound is low.
I've put the volume full blast and I'm now using a laptop which I know is much stronger than when I use a phone. Okay, it will improve with time, Honorable Manya.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, technology has got its own glitches. Let's move to item. Alan, can you please send the letter that we received from the minister to honorable members in the meantime, if they have not received it as yet? We can look at it towards the end. 5.1. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
The process. 5.2. Still on the public participation. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.3. Net-led process.
Can we
Agreed.
check the two observations, Chair? Because can we just check the difference between the two observations? Because the 5.2 talks to the involvement of NEDLAC and other public participants, and 5.3 also speaks to NEDLAC. Can we just get a clarity on the difference between the two observations so that we can understand that we need them to have autonomy? Thank you, Chair.
Yes, if I may come in, Chair. Number 2 speaks to everyone, including public participants, but number 3 speaks to just the NEDLAC process and the report that they developed. Because I remember the chairperson wanted a special history of this because there were issues about public participation regarding this, and some still wanted to participate and send more representations and so on. So this speaks about all these processes at NEDLAC and public participation of 4,000 commentators. But this one, number 3, speaks specifically to the report that was developed at NEDLAC.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Dr. Slope. I requested this process because it's quite very important that we demonstrate to Parliament and to the public in general that the participation was adequate, because there was that constant question whether there was an adequate public participation. Thanks for the clarity. 5.4, state law advisor and involvement of FOSAD, directors general. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair. Agreed.
Agreed. 5.5, the bill is formally introduced to the speaker and then referred to the committee. The committee allowed for public hearings. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.6, the committee deliberate on the bill.
Through you, Chair.
Yes, Honorable Mike.
Yeah, can you, I wanted to just ask Ellen, I'm trying to log in with my phone just to get the sound because I don't want to delay the meeting, but I really can't hear you.
I can clearly hear you. I don't know where's the problem.
I'm trying to connect with my phone now. If I can just be admitted.
Wotla, can you admit to Honorable Mike? Mara ulapa the richest square mile in the continent. Tina, we can hear you clearly this side. Wotla, have you admitted him using on this other gadget?
That he's not even appearing in the waiting room.
Honorable Manu, can you connect using the other gadget?
In fact, the chairperson have got all of them on here, even have the tablet on, because I wanted, when we do the A list, if we're going to do A list, I wanted to in parallel be able to see the bill on this one. But sound is a problem.
But has he connected with the other gadget, Honorable Manu?
No, I still don't see him in the waiting room. He doesn't appear in the waiting room.
Honorable Manu, can you hear Bull?
No, I will put my ear. Find someone here. Maybe technology.
Okay. Butler will assist you to sort out the connectivity and the sound. 5.5, agreed, honorable members. I think we have agreed to this. 5.6.
Agreed.
Committee deliberations agreed. 5.7.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.8.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.9.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.10. Procurement framework.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.11. The thrust of the bill.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.12.
Agreed, Chair.
Those are the acts of parliament that have to be amended. 5.13. Align this act with the other acts of parliament.
Yeah, 5.12, Chairperson, is the acts that are completely repealed, which means they are cancelled. And 5.13 is the ones that are amended to ensure that there is alignment now.
The bill completely repeals. Okay, these are completely repealed. Tender board, National Supplies Procurement, Preferential Procurement Policy Act. And 13 is the alignment amends. So advocates Frank MP Matebula. So there are specific clauses that will be amended in all these acts that you have outlined here in 13. Over to you, advocates.
Good morning, Chairperson and other committee members. MP van Schoor, yes, those are the acts listed in the schedule to the bill. It's correct in our view. Thank you.
Okay, because these are amendments, there are specific clauses in those acts that are going to be amended, isn't it? Because not like a repeal like those who are 12.
Yes, if I may assist, Chair, yes, that's true. And all those are reflected.
Honorable Manya, on echo, what's the challenge? Is it because you have two gadgets which are on? But for now, there's one. Echo. Can you hear me now? Honorable Manya?
Yeah, Chair.
You have an echo. I don't know what's the problem.
It's because I've got two gadgets on. Let me switch off the one.
Okay, is it off?
Just want to switch off this volume, Chair. Just in echo.
No, it's better now. You can proceed. Yes, Honorable Manya, there's no echo. Honorable Manya. Okay, let's proceed. We'll come
Can you hear
back
me, Chair?
to. Yeah. Yeah, the echo is making.
Sorry, Chair. I've switched off. I'm back to my laptop now, the one without proper sound.
You are audible now. There's no echo.
I wanted to talk on 5.13, Chair, through you, if you allow.
Okay. Over to you, Honorable Manya. 513. The connectivity of Honorable Manya is a serious challenge today. Okay. Let's park 513. We'll come back to it. Let's go to 514.
Agreed, Chair.
Great.
514 is not displayed as we speak, Chair, or it's displayed now. Okay.
Yeah, Section 217 of the Constitution and clause 1B. Agreed. 515.
Agreed, Chair.
Vice. Agreed. Technology.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 517. Combat corruption.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Dispute resolution. The tribunal.
Agreed, Chair.
Before you proceed, is there no appeal tribunal? Does it only end at the tribunal of first instance, or there is an appeal tribunal? Or is it me who thought there should be appeal tribunal? Advocate score.
Chairperson, it's called a tribunal, not an appeal tribunal in the bill.
Also, there's nothing like an appeal tribunal.
No, but it works like an appeal, but the terminology the term used in the bill, it's called the Public Procurement Tribunal. And after reconsideration by the procuring institution on a decision to award, they may approach the tribunal, and then also on debarment orders, they can approach the tribunal.
Okay. It has been agreed. 5. Well, yeah, okay. 519.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 520.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Debarment. Agreed.
Agreed.
I see Advocate Van School is writing something in the chat. Okay. Dr. Slope, you will attend to that. Advocate and Matebula, the issue raised by the what cluster is that one? The security cluster of what do they call it? Procurement by other means. Have you dealt with it in the bid? Or there's laws that make a provision for security-related matters?
Thank you, Chair. Good morning to you, Honorable Chair, and honorable members of the committee. Yes, Chair, there is a provision in terms of Chapter 5 where we will have different types of procurement methods, and this procurement by other means is also part of that process, and then we'll develop, as indicated, Chair, prescribe the different types of procurement methods, and that one will also be part of that. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thanks. Honorable Manyila.
Checking sound 1, 2, 3.
Who can hear you? Let's go back to 513, Alan. Okay, there we are. Honorable Manya, there we are, 513.
Sorry, Chair, it's all quiet on my side. I don't know whether I'm the only one that is struggling.
I can hear you. Honorable Manya. Noxie, can you call Honorable Manya? Maybe there's a challenge with my gadget. I don't know.
Okay, Chair.
We're now Tetenayo from your gadget. I don't know.
Seems it's Honorable Manya's problem. It's on his side, and I know in the interest of participation, we must give time to him as well. But the problem really it doesn't seem to be experienced by anybody else.
No, okay. No, thanks for that clarity, Honorable Maswale. If there's an issue that you want to raise about the report, we'll attend to it. Let's go back to...
Chair, sorry, I can see you're talking, but I don't have a sound here.
We can hear you this side, Honorable Manya. Your sound is quite very clear on our side. I don't know why you can't hear us. Can you hear me now? Okay. Let's go down to the last item, I think, which is the adoption of the report. We'll clarify issues that Honorable Manya will want us to clarify in relation to 513, which are legal issues. Let's go to conclusion 6.1. Yeah, 6.1. The A-list amendment, agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
6.2.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Can a member move for the adoption of the bill, of the report?
I move for the adoption, Chair.
Honorable Nkomo moves for the adoption. Any seconder?
I second, Chair.
Honorable Mavile, it's a second. The videos.
Good morning, Chair, and good morning, colleagues. Please reserve the position of the Democratic Alliance on the adoption of the bill. Thank you.
Thanks, Honorable De Villiers. Honorable Manya. We have adopted the report here. What's the view of the EFF? You are the most active participant in this bill, more than all of us. I hope you are adopting the report.
Recording in progress.
I'm trying to call Mani so that he can speak during the meeting if it is possible, if he can pick up.
Okay. Before we close the meeting, I just thought of something. I received a letter from the minister regarding the two-pot system, that other revenue bill. that the minister tabled. Remember last week, we processed the 2 bills that we submitted to the NA. There's the outstanding one where we're waiting for the minister to come back. He has done so. Honorable Maswale, I see you're raising your hand.
No, thank you, Chair. No, before you jump off the committee report, it's really, Chair, to say I know you would have done so many times, to really appreciate the work that the team has done in the kind of timelines we had. I think the quality of the report is quite appreciated, and I think we should really express our appreciation. I would like us to really encourage the team. I think at some point when we are a bit tired of not getting reports on time, we tend to criticize everything. I think they've really done good. I would like to just put that on record. Thank you, Chair.
Thanks very much, Honorable Maswale, for commending the good work done by the teams from the side of National Treasury as well as from the side of the committee. I will also do so at the end. Alan, are we still having a meeting this week, or is this the last meeting?
Chair, this.
Alan.
Yes, Chair. This is the last meeting. There's nothing else scheduled for this week. But the letter that the committee has received from the minister, and then there's also Mr. Karim's committee, that the Select Committee on Finance, that proposed technical amendments to the municipal fiscal powers bill that the committee passed a few months ago. So the committee has to look at that as well, Chair. So hopefully we'll find space sometime this week still to deal with it.
Okay, let's discuss it before we close these 2 critical issues. Honorable Manyu, are you back?
Yeah, can you hear me loud and clear, Chair?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you. Sorry to take the meeting back. I just wanted to just check a couple of things, Chairperson, so that I was off. I will just rattle the few things if they were addressed and where and how. Then I'm done. So that I really want to adopt this report. But I just want to just check these few things, Chairperson. Can I just rattle them quickly?
Okay.
The first one, in the definition of terms, I didn't see the definition for value for money. Did I miss it somewhere? That's the one thing. And the other thing I wanted to check on 5.13. For instance, when we had that discussion, I had raised the issue of the CIDB, and I was given an assurance that it will be dealt with somehow creatively. I don't know how it was dealt with, because I still maintain that the tweak that was done and labeled as an amendment on CIDB has done absolutely nothing to change the substance of CIDB. And I'm saying to you, Chair, CIDB, if you look at it, it is fundamentally different to the entire bill and all of that. But I didn't see how the CIDB thing was addressed as it. In fact, if it was up to me, I would scrap the whole thing. But if it's addressed differently, creatively, I don't see where. And then also, Chairperson, I raised the issue of the joint venture, and I was given an assurance that it will be addressed in some other creative way. I don't know where is it addressed. If I can just be pointed, I would be happy. And then, Chairperson, this last but one thing, I just want to take this one very slow, Chairperson, so that you understand, everybody must understand my issue. Let's go back to the original formulation, which I see has been deferred to the regulations, the 5149. Just want to use that format, Chairperson, to explain the point that this thing of saying black women, and then you say women, and then you say black youth, then you say youth, then you say black cooperatives, then you say cooperative. We're being disingenuous and we're being dishonest with the public of South Africa, because I think what we are hiding there on these non-racially tagged things, we actually mean white, Chairperson, because all other women, African, colored, and Indians are covered in black. So we are being dishonest if we don't call it white, because that's what it is, Chairperson. The danger with this, Chairperson, with the explanation that was given, is that no, this is all women and all of this. So if that is the case, then it means that you can actually have other women crowded out. What you could have with this situation, let's say you've got this 51%, 49% formulation. So if you take the view that is being taken, then effectively what you could have on the 51% section, which is what we're dealing with here, this BE section and so on this set aside and subcontracting on this 51%. Now, if on the 49%, there's no discussion, it's clear that it's white people, because we're not trying to exclude them, but we want to include them in a particular proportion. Now, if you do this kind of playing with language that has been done here of not tagging things, what you're going to have is that you're going to have 49% white representation in a particular venture, and the 51%, because it's we're ducking and diving here, these other women will then have 100%. That 51% can theoretically be 100% white again. So then you have 51% white, you have 49% white, so you have 100% white. That's the effect of this. Same thing on the 51% again on the black side. If we do what we're doing here, we are also going to have a situation where the black women are going to say, at the category of 51% black women, I'm here, I'm a woman. We're here, we're black women, and then they take their 51%, and then they say, but we're also women in general as well. And then they double dip, Chairperson. This is what we're doing by leaving this thing the way it is. It's a very clumsy formulation, politically correct, and all of this, but it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. It's dishonest and it's not dealing with the situation. I have proposed a formulation which I sent to the chair. I also sent to Mr. Matebula. I don't know if he shared with his colleagues, because in that formulation is honest. It brings everything back to the EAP, so that everything is above board. And this is what I'm trying to achieve, Chairperson, from my input. That let's not play games. Let's not find all kinds of things that require all kinds of interpretation and explanation and all of that. Law must provide legal certainty. If you just say women, what do you mean? If you just say youth, what do you mean? Why are we running away from providing legal certainty? And I've provided legal certainty. I'm not just saying this and not making a suggestion. Maybe we can put that suggestion and I can be defeated on it or whatever. But I put a suggestion that I thought would deal with this thing. Lastly, Chairperson, I wanted to just check a point. It's probably a point that I didn't canvass earlier. When we talk about these local procurements designated, what have you, do we have a statement or anything that talks to the total procurement of government? Because what you would want, if we say local procurement and we say designated, we can end up ghettoizing local procurement, Chairperson. We can ghettoize it if we leave it to designated what. We need a statement that is going to be categorical, that generally in South Africa, we want, say, 80% of our goods and services to be locally procured. If we do like this designated thing, there's a big risk here that will ghettoize local production and say, oh, well, we've covered it. It is in designated, it's in designated sections. We're not dealing with designated sections now. We're dealing with the real stuff, you know? So basically then the real stuff gets imported. Then we just become another puppet state here, Chairperson. I don't want South Africa to be a puppet state that all the main things we get from outside when we could do things inside the country. So I'm asking Chairperson whether do we have a phraseology somewhere that talks to the general posture of government, which says that the government posture on procurement is that we should basically procure everything locally, not just ghettoize it on just on the designated items. Yeah, so those are the issues, Chair, which the report that we've just gone through now would have said we've covered those things and all of that. But I just don't know how were those things covered in order for me to be able to say I'm with the report that we've just gone through. So the other things that we've gone through that when my technology was behaving, I'm happy. But these other ones that I've just raised, if very quickly someone can just take me through then sort and just show me also maybe check on the report here where have we covered this thing that I'm dealing with, then I'll be covered. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Manya. But that as it may, we can't repeat every clause by clause of things which are covered in the Act, I mean in the bill, so that the report does not look like a bill. Remember on Friday, we went into details, 50 something or so clauses, if I'm not mistaken, to deal with the majority of the issues that you have raised, how we define women, CIDB, I see CIDB here on 513, is amongst those legislations that are going to be amended. So it's not like CIDB will not be amended. The issue of women, yes, local procurement, we dealt with the issue of local content, percentages and the details about the numbers and so on, how you calculate that. We thought those should go to regulations, because if you make an act with so much calculations, you will make it very difficult for government to implement such an act. And regulations, remember, are part of the legislation. But if we are going to put everything here on the act, because what you do, you make an enabling legislation that will enable government to perform the duty that you want them to perform. Let me invite Advocate Square and Advocate Frank Jenkins. But that as it may, Honorable Manya, the report has been adopted. Let me invite the advocates to clarify the issues and Mr. Matebula that you have raised.
Chairperson, just first of all, on the issue of value for money, the term is no longer proposed to be used, well, as adopted by the committee. It's been removed from clause 2, and we're now referring to the terminology used in 195 of the Constitution. So therefore, there's no need to define the term value for money, since not used in the bill. On the CIBD Act changes, there is a number of changes already in the bill as tabled, and we added an additional one, which will to ensure alignment of that act with the procurement bills once enacted. You will see there's instances where they must consult or act in consultation with the procurement office, and also when when they adopt code of conduct, etc. there's those requirements that in the schedule. And the additional one we added related to specifically to the code of conduct, and then there's also a requirement to consult the procurement office on when they implement national programs and projects, which are aimed at standardization of procurement documents. Then on joint ventures and consortium, that would be dealt with within the regulations. And I'll ask my colleague, Mr. Matabula, to deal with the questions regarding chapter 4 on women. But just to indicate, women is listed as a separate category, and that's also in accordance with what you find in the Employment Equity Act. They're one of the designated groups, but there is a provision now under set asides that provides for targets to be set that must be adhered to, which, for instance, may mean that if there's a target set for Black women, then if you choose that category, they must still comply with that target. Thank you.
Chair, from my side, I don't really have anything to add in addition to what Advocate van Square said. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Advocate. Honorable Abraham.
I'm sorry. Okay, Chair. Chair, I don't know, man. On the issue of the women concept, I think the women in the bill was explained to stand for all women. And if we could have unpacked, we would have had women in general and Black women in particular, because I don't think it would be wise for us to just say, because in the women, the standalone, the standalone women, we include Black women there. We include disabled women. We include women of all color and age, right? And then the bill further zooms into Black women. So I don't think it would have been correct for us to say white women, because that is not the essence of the clause. The essence is women in general, so that we, in terms of women, we don't miss out, as was explained by, I think, Honorable Kosana last week, that the oppression of women cuts across race, creed, and age, and I think that is what that women stands for. But then the preference goes further to Black women. Hence, we have that as well, standing alone. So I don't think that standalone women represents whites, or we want them to represent whites per se. I don't know. That's how I understand it, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
That's how we defined it last week. Yeah. Honorable Manyu, can you have the last take so that we move to the next issue that the minister have referred to us and Honorable Karim, so that we can agree what we do now that we're left with the 2 days of parliamentary programs in terms of the program.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Okay. Okay, first let me welcome the responses. I think they are taking us forward, all of the responses. I appreciate the response on value for money. Have a look at what that 195 says exactly. I will look again, Chairperson, on the further I will look into the further, clauses that have been introduced to CIDB to bring to effect the alignment, because the initial one, as I said, they were doing absolutely nothing. But if the explanation is that more clauses have been added to bring alignment, we'll look into that. And then lastly, Chairperson, on the women, and this is not just women, it's just women, it's the youth, it's people with disability and all of that. If we're saying what we're saying now, that we're not disguising anyone, why don't we just say so then? Why don't we just add just three letters, all, Chairperson, all women, on all of these categories with the disability people. When we said black, what black? After we've said black, and then we still just have disabled people, just say all. What is the other category? Yeah. So if we add all, then you say exactly what is being said, Chairpersons. Then I'm covered. If you just add all, then I know that you're not hiding anything, Chairperson. Lastly, Chairperson, on the issue of percentages and so on, you don't have to have a percentage, but I was looking for a statement in the bill that is going to show the posture of government. By the way, when we talk about percentages, PPPFA since 2000 had actual percentages in the law itself, not on regulation. So it would not be a precedent, and it would not be as cumbersome as you're making it, Chair, because we've had it since the year 2000 when that law was launched. Even as we speak, the 90-10, 80-20 is in the law, it's not in the regulation. So the issue of percentages being in the law, it's a common practice. Now, all I'm asking, Chairperson, is that not for the designated ones are cumbersome. I'm talking about a general one-sentence statement that's going to talk to government procurement as a whole. That government procurement as a whole should be 80% local. That's what I'm looking for, so that we can stimulate the economy of South Africa, Chairperson. If we don't do that, it means this committee is agreeing in terms of ghettoizing production in South Africa. And this is what we're trying to avoid here. We want all our factories to be up and about. We want industrialization to be up and about. And for all of that to happen, government must lead in terms of a law that enables that. And the enablement must be in the law. So all I'm asking for is just one sentence that will characterize the posture of government in terms of local production, Chairperson. Is that too much to ask? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Manye. Lawyers, do you want to assist in terms of law drafting? Because there are certain requirements that a law has to meet once it goes through the state law advisor, then it is here before parliamentary legal services and so on and so on. Because as much as we like to have everything the way it's suggested, however, at the end, there is a legal requirement that the law is supposed to meet. Advocate Jenkins, I saw your hand.
Yes, Chairperson. Sorry. If I understand the issue correctly, those provisions for the set-asides, clause 18. If I understand Honourable Manye correctly, says we should put an or in there. All of those at sub 3 are ors. It's black women or black people or black women or black or just women, because we see that at the last conjunction of the IJ, Chair, if I'm referring to the wrong, they're the correct version. So those are all not in addition, it's alternative. So of course it will be set in the specifications, in the advert that goes out. It has to then indicate what are the categories that this is set aside for. And of course that needs to make rational sense pertaining to the product that was to be built. I've got no comment on the issue of the general provision. That would be a policy matter, Chair, which we're not. Well, I can't comment on that. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thanks for the clarity. I think it's clarified, Honorable Manye, that that's how the bill is going to provide for the issues that you are raising, and also South Africa belongs to all who live in it, black and white. That as it may, our legislations and policies are biased towards the blacks in general and Africans in particular. Last bite, Honorable Manye, so that we move to the next issue that has come from Treasury, and the other issue, the next two issues, and the other issue raised by Honorable Karim.
As the lawyers say, Chairperson, I'm indebted to you. Last bite, indeed, Chairperson. The explanation of the or, you see, Honorable Noxie, your understanding has just been defeated by this last explanation here, because this is or. Because in your case, you say you take the posture of women and black women in particular posture. But the explanation given here by Advocate Jenkins is saying, no, that's not what we mean. It's either or. There's a or, there's a or. That has been my problem, because in that or, where you don't have black, then you can be one race and it will be fine, because it's just stated all women. That's why then, if you want to get rid of that mischief, you must add all in that women that is on its own, so that if somebody chose not to go for the black women, must then go to the all. In the all, you will find everyone. I'm not here trying to exclude anyone, Chairperson. I must not be misunderstood. I'm here to get the law to be honest. I'm here to make sure that we say what we mean. We don't say this when we mean something else. If we mean all women, which I have no problem with, all races, then say all. Why do you say women lose as an alternative? I mean, the lawyer has just explained here, Honorable Noxie, just explained that this is either or. It says all those clauses have got or. So each and every one is a choice. You can choose to go black women. You can choose to go with these unidentified women. And that those unidentified women will identify themselves in a bid and then say, well, there is nothing precluding this kind of formulation. And this is why we have an opportunity here and now to get rid of the mischief in the phraseology of the law. Get rid of these non-tagged things. And it's a simple thing, just say all. When you say all, everybody's included. I'm not here to exclude anyone, but I just don't want us to lie and pretend we mean all when that clause can be abused. We're opening a loophole here for abuse deliberately. Why are we doing this, Chairperson? And then on the other one, Chairperson, maybe the lawyer is actually saying you must pronounce on this, that because we're amending this law here, and he is saying that the issue I'm raising is a policy issue. It's an issue, therefore, that the committee, as the committee, should pronounce on. And I'm suggesting here, Chairperson, that we should have a posture. You are talking here public procurement. I'm saying we should have a posture as government of South Africa that says the procurement, we said, Chairperson, wanted to stimulate the economy. How are we going to do this if we're going to have all kinds of articulations that seek to undermine the policy posture? The policy posture says stimulate the economy of South Africa. The policy posture says create jobs. The policy posture says industrialize. So what is the problem with the public procurement latching on that? You will not be inventing anything. You will be latching on the general posture of the country that seeks to solve the problem. So all we're saying is that there must be a sentence in the, whether it's preamble or somewhere, a one-liner that's going to define the posture of government to say that government intends to procure everything at minimum 80% I'm just using a percentage. You could make it 90, you can make it 100. 80% of the procurement will be local unless there's a case to be made. I mean, this is not locking us, Chairperson. It's a posture, but you've got a back door. 80% unless there's information, researched information that says this cannot be achieved. Then it's fine, and we're all reasonable people. Some survey will be done to say, well, we wanted to do this, we can't, but the good intention must be stated. Now, if we're going to fail to even state the good intention, then what exactly are we doing here? All I'm asking is an intention to do good, an intention to create jobs in this country. This is all I'm asking for.
Okay, Honorable Mine. The intent and purpose of this bill is to promote local content. And I think that is spelled out throughout the bill. And also, we should not pass a bill in such a manner that it will also make it difficult for the executive to implement that bill. We have amended this bill quite substantially. But for now, at the end, when we haven't engaged with the executive to come with percentages, I don't think it will be proper. Hence, I said we'll leave certain things to regulations. We understand what you're saying, and this bill will be implemented in connection with other bills. There is still the broad-based black economic empowerment, which prescribe how procurement and how people are supposed to be empowered.
Chair, have you not muted yourself? It's all quiet from your side.
While the chair is muted, members, I'm saying we must take into account that this bill has got a trumping provision. So we can't be saying we've got other laws. If it is not said here, it's not said anywhere. It's got a trumping effect, unless we remove the trumping effect. Is the chair still not audible to everyone? It's not audible to me.
No, he's not. He's not yet in.
Through you, then, Chair, usually the acting chair. Can you ask maybe while chair is trying to log in for the lawyers to say what's their difficulty in putting all in these other categories that they have left untagged? All women in those ones where it just says women, say all women. Where it says youth, just say all youth. Where it says people with disability, just says all. What is the difficulty there? Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Can the lawyers come in, Advocate Van Koor and Advocate Jenkins?
See, I want to submit, if you use the term, forgetting about what's mentioned in the other category, if you say woman or you say youth, or it means everyone, it doesn't exclude and it's not qualified. But where you use black people, it means only people who are black. And when you have women, black women, it only means women who are black. So if you use women without qualification, then it means it's everyone, that any person that is a woman. So from a drafting perspective, in my view, it's not necessary to say all. Thank you.
Through you, Chair.
Okay, come in, Honorable Manyi.
Then on the definitions, do we have a definition then that says women, so that we're not gonna have Advocate Van Spoor on the ground to explain this. The law must be an encyclopedia of its own, with its own standing. I must be able to argue based on the law. The law must be the arbiter. Can we then have these definitions fleshed out in the definitions where we say women? Then we know that we mean all women. Then I'm covered. When you say youth, then we mean all. It can be what Advocate Score is saying, but not contained in the law. If it's not contained in the law, it's not there. Can we just have it in the law? Then we're all covered. In the definitions, then we're all covered. Then we know you can't come here and say, if I say this, I mean this. The law must say so. The definitions must say so, not you.
Okay. I don't think there's a difficulty there, Advocate Van Koor. What you just explained, for example, could be included in the definitions where you explain all women, but legally speaking, you don't have to include the all. So yeah, I think what sorry, Honorable Manyi is raising is that let it be explicit there what is meant by the concept women. So should it be by the concept youth, disabled, and so on. Will there be a difficulty in doing that, Advocate Van Koor? Including them in definitions?
Chairperson, my problem is that youth is not mentioned for instance, in 18 as a separate category. It's listed under small enterprises. That's the one problem. And there you can't say small enterprises owned by all women. Then it means if the prescribed percentage is 51% for women-owned, which can be done in terms of later provisions, it can't work. And the rule of statutory interpretation is that any term used in legislation has its ordinary dictionary meaning. And therefore, unless you want to change that definition, you don't have to define it. And that's why so it's not necessary to say all black people, all black women, or all women. But the committee must decide what's your preference. But I just think from a drafting perspective, it would be wrong to say women means all women. Because it really means that in terms of the ordinary interpretation of the term woman.
Yes, I think Advocate Van Koor, let's not bend the legal arms to do what is wrong. I'm listening carefully to your response, and you're saying it would be wrong. Then I think let's leave it at that, as I don't think Honorable Manyi aims to do something wrong per se. I think this kind of engagement is, however, in fact, was necessary. I think the understanding between us, because there are things. I mean, if we say women, I mean, when it says women and it doesn't say this kind of woman, that kind of woman, and legally it means all women. I think it should be sufficient for us to leave it at that. And I think that is okay. Honorable Manyi.
Chairperson, no. Before. Honorable Manyi, we have adopted the report. We have given you ample time to raise your issues. If now that we've adopted the report, you don't agree with the report, you have to say so that we're able to move to the next two items.
Yeah, no, I hear you, Chair. This is not about adopting the report.
Then the legal advice, we have taken the legal advices. We don't want to pass a bill that later the speaker says the lawyers have given you this advice. Why did you allow to adopt a wrong advice? Because remember, somebody will take this bill to court tomorrow, and it will be reflected in the minutes that were advised by the lawyers. Be that it may, we ignored the advice of the lawyers, and the speaker will come very hard on us because remember, she's the one who's taken to court as an executive authority. Let's agree that we have exhausted all the issues that we have raised and we have given you ample time. The report has been adopted. You agree with the adoption? If not, any reservation or objection?
We were finalizing, Chair, when you just barged in through you, Chair. We're finalizing, and I think we're getting to the end of this thing properly, because we're talking about whether we can accommodate these things in the definitions. And then the answer is another issue that we can't do that. But you see, the Chairperson, if for instance, when we define transformation, like we've defined it here, we then qualify and say for the purpose of this, of procurement, we've said so here, Chairperson, in order to bring the specificity of these intentions of this bill. I'm saying the same principle that we've applied in defining transformation, we can apply it here, that for the purpose of this bill, women shall mean this thing. And we've done it for transformation in this very bill. Why is it difficult unless there are some monkey tricks that we're trying to do here, Chairperson, which is what I'm suspecting. I suspect monkey tricks here that I play, we're hiding things here, and all I'm asking is transparency and clarity in the legislation. You know, that's all I'm asking. And now I'm getting told all kinds of legal jargon. But even at that legal jargon, the precedent set in this very bill, we've said transformation for the purpose of procurement means this. So why can't we do the same? Unless we say something when we mean the other. That's why the laws, Chairperson, are never implemented properly in these countries because of these things. The next thing will be in court of all these things. And because now we're rushing for time and everything, a simple thing like this of being honest. Why is it that I'm the only one fighting for honesty in this meeting? And I'm saying all I'm asking for is honesty. That's all. Can we be honest and say what we mean? If we say all women, like Honorable Skosana had said the other day, like Advocate Van Skore has said just now, what's the difficulty putting that in writing? That we mean all. What's the difficulty there? If that's what, if there's general consensus, that's what we mean. And I disagree with that. All I'm saying is that fine, we're all agreeing with this. No one is differing. Let's write it down.
Yes, Honorable Manye will record your objection. However, at the end of the day, we have to take the legal advice. We will record your objection as the report has been adopted. Honorable de Villiers and Skosana, we move to the next item. Honorable de Villiers.
No, thank you, Chair. I support that we move to the next point on the agenda. And I also think that we should support the legal opinion. And I do think Honorable Manye has had more than fair time to sway us otherwise. But I don't think there is consensus on his point. So I support that we move on. Thank you.
It suits your agenda, I know.
Thanks. Honorable Manye, let's not do that, please. When I give you a platform to speak, I don't allow anybody to disrupt you and to use an unparliamentary language. It's not proper the way you are addressing Honorable de Villiers. I'm chairing this meeting and all members are protected. I don't think you will want to be treated in that manner by any other member of the committee when you make a point. Let's be tolerant of different views. Honorable Skosan.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Honorable Chair, and good day to everybody present. Yeah, Chair, I think we've spoken about this matter for quite a long, since last week up until now, and I think we've had the concerns from Honorable Manyi, but I think we've all of us who have raised our views on the matter, and we've had responses from the National Treasury, we've had legal advices on the matter. So, and my view is that the term women is not like that one of transformation. I think with transformation, we had to define it, because transformation is a broad term. It may mean different things to different people. So we had to define it, to say in the context of this bill, what do we mean by transformation? But the term women, I mean, it's a straightforward. I mean, everybody understand when we say women, what do you mean? And when we say, there's no need to write all, because when we say women, it means all. You see, there's no need to write it. So, but if Honorable Manyi is afraid that this will be abused by other people, by saying where it says women, it means white women only. I think that's the reason we've got courts of law. That's the reason that we've got lawyers. I think if people are abusing this clause that says women, then those people will be breaking the law. I think then they will be challenged legally. Legal steps will be taken against them, because they will be breaking the law. Because women means women. Women means all women. There's no other interpretation. So if somebody says no, this women, it means white women only, because there's no all. I mean, who says when there's no all, it means white? Because that person must be asked, who will say when it says women, if there's no all, it then means white women only. So where does that come from? That if it does not all, it means white women only. So that person will have to be challenged. I mean, that person will have to be dragged to a court of law. You see, so I think we can't, write a law like we're writing, I think some kind of a theory explaining each and everything. I think that there are things that we all know, that when we say women, we mean women. You see, so if somebody breaks the law, then that person must face the full might of the law. You see, so we can't be able to explain each and every little thing. I mean, women, it's women. All of us, you understand that. It's not like that one of transformation. Transformation was different because it's a complex term. We had to break it down and define it in the context of this particular bill. But women, I mean, everybody understand when we say women, what do you mean? If somebody abuse that, then that person will be breaking the law, and therefore that person must be taken to a court of law. Then the court of law will definitely interpret this in the context of the bill. I mean, we'll interpret what does women mean. So I don't think we should crack our heads, Chair, and put things that are not normally put in bills like alls. I mean, I've never seen that. I've seen number of bills, but I've never seen putting all before women or all before youth and stuff like that. So I think this is straightforward. But if the concern of Honorable Manyi that people will abuse it, I think those people then they'll have to face the law, because they will be breaking the law. Thank you very much, Chair.
Siyathokoza, Honorable Khosana. The bill has been, the report has been adopted with the reservation of the DA. What is the position of the EFF in regard to adopting the report, Honorable Manyi?
We reserve our position, Chairperson.
Taking into consideration that you are the one who spoke the longest of all of us, it's okay.
Yeah, so if we can do a simple thing of putting things in definition, so that I don't need Mr. Honorable Skosana to explain all the time. XML, I seen a slang in the grass.
There is no slang, so.
It's too suspicious. You don't trust.
What is a slang in the grass?
It's a snake in the grass.
Yes, not Afrikaans. It's like it has got a different meaning in what it's talking about.
Yeah, it's there's a snake in the grass.
Okay. Let's move to. We received a response from the minister in regard to the two-port system. Alan, have you sent a letter to honorable members, or we have to flight it here?
Yes, Chair, I've sent it a while back, but with your permission, I can flight it.
Okay, if we can flight it so that we go through it while the lawyers are still here. Okay. Yeah, proceed. Yeah, it's about the amendment of the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill. That's the reference as to where the committee attended to this. And the minister says that he has got the following concerns regarding the ability to meet the revised. One, the Pension Funds Amendment Bill, which is required to be for the RLAB to be effective, has not yet been tabled in Parliament. The PFA bill was approved by Cabinet last week to be submitted to Parliament. The amendments in the bill enable retirement to amend their fund rules for two-port. It's an accompanying money bill. Therefore, the effective date of RLAB cannot predate the implementation of the PFA bill, given that the PFA bill has not yet been tabled. There's a concern that the legislative process will not be complete by the 1st of March 2024. Two, let's proceed, Alan, to the next paragraph. Two, even if both the PFA and the RLAB can be promulgated by 1st March, funds will then be required to amend their fund rules to be submitted to FSCA for registration, and funds ought to communicate proposed amendment. Fund rules can only be amended, then submitted to FSCA for approval. While the FSCA can have their internal systems ready to receive fund rule from 1st March, it will take approximately 3 months from receipt of rules for approvals to be finalized. There are 1,322 active retirement funds, which will all be required to submit amended for registrations and approval. Paragraph 3, in addition, there are retirement funds that are not regulated under the Pension Funds Act, but regulated in terms of separate acts of Parliament. They will have to follow their processes. In the case of GPF, rule require consultations through the public sector bargaining council. GPF is not partly to the bargaining council. Therefore, will need to be proposed by the employer, which is DPSA. These processes are likely to extend beyond 1st March 2024. To enable withdrawals, SARS has indicated that they need at least 6 months after the promulgation of the legislation to put such a system in place. If the March 2024 date is retained, SARS will need to rely on suboptimal interim system where SARS cannot guarantee quick turnaround times for the accuracy of the system. This runs the risk of withdrawing too much tax, which will exacerbate hardship for members. Okay. 5, 5th paragraph. An investment perspective and implementation date as much will require fund managers to urgently reallocate their portfolios to meet potential liquidity demands from the expected withdrawal requests. The need for liquidity could result in direct negative market impacts, as assets will need to be disposed of over a short period. 6, the two-port system is a fundamental restructuring of the retirement system in South Africa. There should be a comprehensive communication by both government, retirement fund members, and financial advisors will need sufficient time to assimilate I recognize that the delay is frustrating the retirement fund members who expected that they will have access to the portion of by 1st March 2024, as well as members of the standing committee who have debated over this issue the past 2 years. However, the concerns I have raised above indicate that it is highly unlikely that we'll be able to achieve a smooth implementation in restructuring by the 1st of March. Next paragraph. As a result, I would like to propose a delay in the implementation to 1st September. Those officials have had the discussions and have agreed on the date of September. And then I will hopefully indicate that consider the concerns of the committee with utmost seriousness and are determined to achieve an early introduction of a new retirement fund. The 1st of September will require the following amendments to the bill: clause 1, next, clause 1(c), all those clauses that are mentioned here. And then these are the recommended clauses to be amended. Okay. Therefore, the proposed amendments are set out in Annexure A. I support these proposed amendments to the bill. Minister Kotongwane. There we are, honorable members, with the response from the minister in regard to what we have adopted, that the two-pot system should come into effect from the from March next year. And in his response, the minister has motivated why he thinks it will not be possible the 1st of March, and instead, after having met SARS and industry and officials from the department and FSCA, they are recommending September, and they still have to meet DPSA and the bargaining council. Honorable Manya.
Chairperson, I think the minister has made a very well argued case. In the absence of an equally well argued case, I think we should, and he's also proposing a compromise. He's not saying, I said 1st March 2025, so be it. He's saying, okay, let me compromise, let's come back 6 months and still bring it in the same year of 2024, calendar year 2024. So, yeah, Chairperson, I think if we insist, we would just be hard-headed and irrational ourselves. So let me be the first to support the recommendation by the minister.
Thanks, Honorable Manya. Honorable Manya moves that we support what the minister is raising. Honorable De Villiers.
Thank you, Chair. The DA also supports the letter and the date of 1 September.
The DA supports. Noxie, what is the majority party saying?
We support, Chair. Thank you very much. We appreciate the fact that the opposition parties are very active in this regard. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
Let's hope they won't change when we arrive in the chamber.
We are together. We are together.
And when, you know, De Villiers, when we have debate, he goes and sits in front and deals with me when he sits here in the committee. We agree, but we're coming to the house. Chairperson, what are you saying? No. Okay. We agree. We'll have to. I saw Cabinet has adopted that bill. What do they? It's mentioned here. So I will talk to the minister that the sooner that bills come to Parliament, the better, so that we can deal with the plight of the workers. Let it be amongst the first bills to come to Parliament when we reopen next year, February. Actually, it should be sent to Parliament as soon as possible to the Speaker, so that the Speaker should refer that bill to us. Come February, it must be the first bill amongst the first to be processed. Advocate Squad, Fund Squad.
Chairperson, I just want to confirm, after cabinet approval, we submitted it to the state law advisors for certification. So we're trying to still enable tabling this year so that the committee can start working on when possible early next year.
Okay, now let's follow that. Advocate Jenkins with National Treasury, CS, and so on. That it has passed cabinet, it means it has got CS certificate. Dr. Hlope.
Yes, thank you, Chairperson. Regarding that bill, I think the committee already consulted on it and held public hearings. And we had hoped that it's going to be submitted together with the tax bills. As you may remember, Chair, when we were doing public hearings on the tax bills, we did public hearings for 5 bills, including that bill. So I don't know now, I just need clarity whether the committee still needs to go back and do public consultation on that bill, or it should be treated like the tax bills that we've already dealt with, because we had also responses from National Treasury on the public submissions on that bill. I don't know if there's much changes now. If it's reintroduced, does it mean we have to go again in the process of inviting public comments and so on? And on the issue of this bill that from the letter, could the committee just adopt the report, because with these amendments that you have agreed on the RLAB, so that we can go and amend it and say the committee wanted to amend this money bill, wrote to the minister responded, and the committee agrees with this, so that we don't have to have another meeting of adopting the report again. Thanks.
Yeah, Honorable Manya has moved for the adoption, seconded by Honorable De Villiers. So that will form part of that report, because it's only about the effective date. The rest of the content of the report, we agree. This bill is another bill, Doctor. It's not the one that we have adopted, the revenue bill. Cabinet has another bill that talks to the two-pot system. That's the understanding I have. Is it not so, Advocate Van School? And I saw the statement of Cabinet on Thursday last week talking about this bill. It's a new bill.
Chairperson, it was submitted to the committee earlier this year, together with the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill for the committee's input. But subsequently, we were advised that we still have to go through the state law advisors and cabinet, and that's why there was a delay in the submission of that bill. But there would be some amendments following the process with the state law advisors. But when we brief the committee next year, we can highlight the changes. And then I assume the committee will decide whether it requires further public consultation. I mean, in view, it wouldn't be material, it's more legal, technical changes from the state law advisors. Thank you.
Thank you. Let the bill come. Then, it means you are right, Dr. Hlope, if that's the case. Let the bill come. We'll take it from there. You will give legal advice. If we have to go through the process of public consultations, we'll have to do so, because we're a public institutions. We don't want to be seen to be taking decisions behind the veil of secrecy. What else? Okay, next, Alan, you said there's a bill referred back by Honorable Karim, the Select Committee Finance. Can you talk to that?
Yes, Chair. If I can just go back to the revenue laws, Bill Chair. Should we take it that we send this or we finalize this in order for it to be considered by the House on Wednesday?
Which one?
The revenue laws, Bill Chair.
Or is it in the parliamentary program for Wednesday?
I think it was tentative pending finalization from the committee. So these amendments, as Akele indicated, that will form part of the report, and we obviously now have to get the A list and the B version of the bill, have that amended in time, or should the committee want it in the House. I'm sure my management can indicate to the table division that it is ready for consideration by the House.
Okay. If the Procurement Committee can accommodate it, the better. We'll be ready for taking the report to the House. Because on the same day, Wednesday, we are tabling the report of the procurement bill. So talk to who's dealing with procurement from our side. We do it through Mr. Frolik or who?
It's the table division, Chair, but I'll just get my management to alert them that that will form part of the House sitting on Wednesday.
Oh, okay. No, let's do so. Let's follow that parliamentary program.
And then, okay, sorry,
yes.
Chair. The next issue is the committee. I think it was in May this year. The committee adopted the municipal fiscal. I can't get to the term now, but it's the municipal fiscal bill. There were proposed amendments from the Select Committee on Finance, and that's been referred back to the Standing Committee on Finance. Advocate van Schoor is also on the platform. She's dealing with that, so maybe she can just mention something about that.
Okay. Advocate van Schoor, are you aware of the issues that are being raised by the Select Committee on Finance?
Yes, Chairperson. We at the time when it served before the Select Committee, we picked up there was one error in the bill, and then there was technical refinements that we picked up when I prepared a guideline for the implementation. So and then we proposed those amendments to the Select Committee. It's basically two changes to definitions, development charges, and also capital infrastructure, if I recall correctly, and two changes to clauses. So in total, not that I know, amendments can the length of it's not the material thing, but it's in total not more than 1 page of amendments that we would, if the committee has time this year, to consider so that the bill could be finalized. Thank you.
Tomorrow, what time does NA start, Alan? Do you start at 10?
Yes, Chair. The sitting tomorrow, I think, is from 10 to 6. And then similar on Wednesday, I think it's also a whole day sitting.
Because I know Wednesday it will be difficult for our committee members to have a meeting in the morning. We'll be debating 2 bills. So if it was possible tomorrow that we dispense of these issues that are referred back to us by the Select Committee, either we do it in the morning or we agree that we have a virtual meeting after the sitting. What do members propose? Because tomorrow there are many bills and other business, which I think need to be adopted. It's like a three-line whip. Honorable Manyu.
Yeah, Chairperson, purely because some of us that are not resident in Cape Town were planning to go to Cape Town midday in preparation for the afternoon plenaries. So if you say the meeting is tomorrow, then it means one must wake up at 4 o'clock tomorrow to be in the 6 o'clock flight, and all of this is, and then you have the whole day to deal with that fatigue of having woken up too early on the day. So I was going to propose, Chair, that let's rather deal with it after the session. Thank you.
Okay, Honorable Manyu moves that we have a meeting after the session. Agreed.
Sorry, Chair, after the session tomorrow.
Yeah, the 5th of December from 10 o'clock. We'll start with the financial management of Parliament of the Republic of South Africa, quarter report, and then come to B-triple-R on forestry, B-triple-R correctional services. 20 items for now. Yeah. I think we're going to break for lunch in between and come back and proceed. Noxie?
Chair, why don't we use the lunchtime, Chair? Because we don't necessarily eat during lunchtime, but even if we do, can we have a working lunch? Because I hear Alan's talking about 6 o'clock for end time tomorrow, but I saw 2015 somewhere, or was it for Wednesday? I'm not so sure, but just to be safe, Chair, can we do it for the lunch hour? But if we all agree on immediately after adjournment, then I won't have a problem with that. After adjournment, it's still okay.
Okay, I think let's take adjournment. It will accommodate members who will not be in Cape Town, because if it's lunch, we have to run around and go and look for food, and then at the same time you must be attending a meeting. Yeah, let's have the meeting after the session tomorrow. We'll indicate what time with the secretary here. Can we have that meeting? Thanks, honorable members. Like Honorable Mam Swale that have congratulated or commended the work done by officials from Treasury, the Standing Committee Finance to process the bill and the report, and going through robust process with the stakeholders. Indeed, let's congratulate you for assisting the committee to be where we are in terms of processing this bill. Hence, we requested that the report will indicate the origin of this bill, how it started to be where it is. It was a very, very difficult process, but it's important because this is a very important bill, honorable members. We're talking about the lives of people here. We're talking about the economy of South Africa. Hence, it's a highly contested bill. It can't be perfect. We are not the last parliamentarians. If the next generation of parliamentarians feel that they want to amend the bill, they will do so. But we will have laid a very, very strong foundation in terms of the procurement regime in South Africa. And also thank honorable members for robust debate. This is a very interesting committee. We fight, we don't howl, we don't disrupt, but we engage in a robust debate. And through debates, every time you get reached, more especially if you are tolerant to the views of other honorable members, because all of us who are here, we have been applied for this job. We were elected by our constituencies. Hence, when honorable members speak, as a chairperson, I don't have to disrupt you because you reflect the views of the constituency where you come from. And we are all benefit because at the end, we are South Africans, despite the fact that we represent different parties. But at the end, we are under one flag. So thanks very much, honorable members, and thank the officials of this team, Team Finance, who work under very difficult circumstances to compile reports, compile documents, and so on. And also the other teams in Parliament, people which assist us from time to time on issues of money bills, legal, and communication is ever here, and all the teams that are here and the stakeholders. I think tomorrow when we have this meeting, we'll also have the last word to thank everybody. But I think it was necessary that we do so, more especially in regard to this bill. You remember that we treated this bill differently compared to other bills. We had so many to and fro. Treasury came, we sent them back, and they came with responses. Stakeholders were very hard to say, no, you didn't take this input from me, treasury back, so that at the end we accommodate everybody's views. But decisions have to be taken. We can't take 4,000 inputs and want to put them in one bill. It won't be possible. There is a consensus as to which direction should this bill take. Thanks very much. So let's adjourn the meeting until we meet again tomorrow evening after the sitting. Thanks very much.
Don't leave the chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Amanda.
Recording stopped.
Okay.
Chairman.
Dango.
Yes, Boom.
Mabongo,